Welcome back to the Digital Ledger channel, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me above at Backup Bradley on Twitter and everything that we're talking about here. And my, oh my, do we have a lot to talk about. And it spans from everything from where we're going very soon to the payments industry, stable coins. We're going to talk about updated FX market systems with BNY, Mellon, and Deutsche Bank, and many, many other things. Let's go ahead and get into this. It's a lot to cover, and you're going to want every single bit of it. Remember, guys, like and subscribe to this channel. Also have the Investment Perspectives channel, which recently changed the name to Digital Perspectives, doing some rebranding on that channel for the new format that we're doing. And this channel will always be fresh content, never duplicate. So make sure to never miss an episode that comes on this channel. Okay. Crypto stablecoins face increasing global regulatory scrutiny. This is a good thing, guys. This is a good thing because we have so many things happening in the stablecoin world. Let us not forget that we're dealing with the on and off ramps from the paper fiat world to the digital world, right? And the only way that really happens is to get the stablecoin industry sussed out so we can get it where it needs to be, whether it's a private company or a central bank digital currency. And there is a lot of encouraging talk about getting exactly that. You know, not too long ago, the Financial Stability Board was recommending that central banks consider a ban against private stable coins. I think we're moving past that notion. Just covered on the Digital Perspectives channel, Jeremy Allairs and Donnelly Dixon, and Jeremy Allairs was very, very positive and enthusiastic about the notion of private stablecoins existing and being able to move forward as the introduction of central bank digital currencies come out onto the market. As long as those standards are in place to make sure that the private companies are held to the certain standard, so we don't see some kind of a dramatic liquidity crisis in a private stablecoin because it's not funded properly or the reserves aren't there. So I think with the the standards and the protocols that are coming into place, it seems Jeremy Allaire was very positive on that notion. Now, the scrutiny itself from regulators, it means they're engaged, right? It means they're fully engaged. And here we see that XRP Crypto Wolf has said the Financial Action Task Force will update guidance in relation to stablecoins and in the near future to comply with its travel rule laws. Currently, right now, we just had the deadline July 21st or June 21st or 24th for the FATF on being all exchanges being KYC, AML, and virtual asset service providers and CFT and travel rule compliant. I think the positive spin here is really, and it's not even a spin, it's just a positive outlook of what's going on, is they're embracing it. They're embracing it, and they're really calling for crypto exchanges to police cryptocurrencies and identify users and identities with KYC. And they're going to continue to drill down on these things. These things are not going away. That's the other thing that I find extremely positive about what's happening in this space. You know, they're not shying away from the notion of stablecoins and cryptocurrencies. In fact, they're embracing them and bringing the kind of regulation and guidance that really tells you we're making room for this to exist in the new system. Very, very exciting to me. Okay, let's keep this going. We know that Federal Action Task Force has a meeting in October. October is a really, really exciting month to look out for because they're, first of all, fiscally, it's like the start of a new year, I believe, for most businesses, banks, and things of that nature, and governments. And October also has the SDR has a big meeting. 2020 is the year of reviewing the basket of currencies. Every 5 years it gets reviewed, and that is going to happen. And they're having a meeting in the middle of October. I think it's the 15th through the 18th or 12th through the 18th. We'll want to keep an eye on what the SDR comes up with there. They are heavily considering going ahead with a virtual SDR special drawing right. So that, along with many other things that are firing off in October, the Financial Action Task Force has a meeting to create stronger global framework and regulation for cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency exchanges. Guys, I just told you the deadline just happened in June. Does it sound like they're letting off the gas? Does it sound like the regulators are really turning into enforcers? You better believe it. And it's this international guidance that's going to get the domestic regimes in their respective countries to really become the enforcer. This is what happens when a new market opens up. Regulators come out, they start to touch the industry, and when they do it in the way of being an educator. But as this space grows and matures, which it is doing very quickly, regulators turn into enforcers. And this is the moment I see happening here, and it's pretty exciting. Here we had SEC Commissioner Crypto Mom Hester Peirce, who spoke yesterday on the conference Unitize. I have clips of her talking, and we'll be sharing those in the future as well. Says they're still working to make regulations flexible enough to allow more crypto innovation. This is the right mindset. Just like Brian Brooks from the OCC is going to release a federal charter in the fall, probably October, right? And it's going to be a federal charter that's going to allow virtual currency businesses and virtual asset service providers to, if their business model is apt for it, it will be, or applicable, they will be able to reach out to engage with the Fed, and they will also be able to apply and set up FDIC protection. This is going to encourage massive use and adoption, I believe, because you are now providing the same level of security to the business or consumer to encourage them to go with the company that offers the innovation. Very, very exciting. All right, let's keep on here. Crypto exchange Kraken has added a new bank to its funding options for customers. This takes the options up to 7 different options for banks from U.S. fundings. So this is exciting stuff. It continues to grow. We got price action today, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. 19 cents. Matter of fact, let me take a look because you just never know. So we were up 5% this morning on price action. Now, listen. Let's be careful what we call price action, right? A 5% move in the market's good, but we're talking about 17 cents to 19 cents. If you're talking to my wife, this is not price action. If you're talking to me or somebody else, I'll take a 5% move up in my portfolio. You better believe I will. But if it takes you from 17 cent to 19 cent, you probably won't want to talk to my wife about it. I'll tell you that. So anyway, temper that, but it's good. It's going the right way. Let's hope it continues. If I understand my TA right and reading the articles and looking at a few charts here, we're going to need to get above 20 cents to talk about going anywhere else. So head on a swivel for that. CFTC Chairman Heath Tarbert said they were waiting on the SEC to allow futures trading of more crypto assets. The chairman wants to see more clarity on which cryptocurrency are securities within the U.S., as well as a broader international cooperation on regulation. Hello. Is this on? Is this thing on? Let me tell you something. This is exciting. This was comments and remarks from Heath Tarbert from that conference I was telling you about from Unitize. I saw it on Cointelegraph late last night. I did about 8 hours of conferences yesterday. It was intense, but very good for all of us. And I'm going to have plenty of clips to show you that too. So, okay, now moving on to this notion here. I want to drop this on you, okay? We're seeing a lot of conversation about further clarity being brought, whether it's to cryptocurrencies, to exchanges, to the stablecoin industry, right? And now we're hearing Chairman Heath Tarbert talking about we're waiting for the SEC to allow more futures trading of more crypto assets. Now, why do you suppose that is? You do understand what futures can do, right? We can go long and we can go short on the asset. Might this be a signal that the market's about to move? Because then institutions use these products that they know so well to long and short the underlying asset. These also become natural products and natural stop and go markers or products that they can use to really control the flow of the market a bit. Because institutional money always knows they got the biggest pocket. Pretty interesting stuff. Keep an eye on that. All right, so XRP rallied around more than 5% and broke the key 19. There's the, yep, and we're looking for it to now test the 20-cent mark. If it wants to continue upward, we got to get over that 20 cents, and then we can start having a real conversation about it. Guys, if you're not following Michael Val 5 links on Twitter, please follow him. do it now. He's fantastic. Okay. Ripple's early investor Standard Chartered Bank joins IBOS, which is an international banking network. More alliances, more collaboration happening. Look, this is it. This is how you show regulators in good faith we want to do things the right way, even though we don't have the clarity. Brad Garlinghouse has said this many times about, they asked us not to speed, but nobody told us what the speed limit was. So this is how you show in good faith by starting these alliances and coalitions and saying, look, we're look at what we're doing. Until you get here with the real definitions and clarity we need, we're trying to form an alliance coalition so we do things in a very measured and practiced way. So this is exciting to me to see all of this. Not sure what to make of this, but I could tell you we're going to drop down on this even deeper, and I haven't had a chance to do so. Consensus, Polychain, Tron, CipherTrace, Blockchain Startup got 18 million in US PPP bailouts. I do intend to take a look at that and see more about that. Stay tuned on that. Ripple Partners TransferGo appointed a new CTO. Shout out to him. TransferGo has over 2 million users and a 10 million investment boost that will enable the business to expand its global footprint and continue to launch new services on its cross-border payments platform. All right, keeping this thing going. Now, this is exciting. You start to see a traditional market jump onto the blockchain train. So let's see what's going on here. Chinese steelmaker settled blockchain 16.87 million iron ore trade that is supported by DBS Bank and R3 Contour. Come on in. This is the stuff we want to see, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned. Here's another big signal. Now, we know that this is not really breaking news. We've covered this before about PayPal entering the cryptocurrency market in their app, in their offerings. And they talk here about the catalyst being the current health pandemic and how it will help drive digital payments for from PayPal CEO. So make sure you check that out as well. Now, this is really good. All right, now we're going to open this one, because I read this, and this is a short read, but BNY Mellon, by the way, handling somewhere in the neighborhood of more than 35 trillion in assets. Not exactly a corner store. Deutsche Bank revolutionize custody FX for restricted EM currencies. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Let me just read you. Digital solution initially being applied to custody FX transactions for Korean won, aims to reduce the pre-trade life cycle to seconds from hours, minimizing the operational burden and manual intervention that can be prevalent in emerging market custody FX. The solution is already live in Korea with the Indonesian rupiah and the Indian rupee targeted next. Subsequently, it will be progressively rolled out to a broad range of restricted currencies which are linked to investors' underlying equity or fixed income transactions. Leveraging existing bots between the two banks for instantaneous communication to help eliminate market frictions, the solution can also bring trade remediation closer to the time of execution. The resulting benefits can also reduce price slippage for clients between the FX leg of a transaction and the equity or fixed income security trade. Digital innovation in FX markets is accelerating in emerging markets, particularly in Asia, because securities denominated in those currencies are increasingly being included or more heavily weighted in emerging market indices and exchange-traded funds. We are constantly looking at ways to introduce cutting-edge technology to benefit our clients and our partners with not only seizing an opportunity to alter back-office processing in restricted markets, but more importantly, we are providing front-office users with faster execution, enhanced workflow transparency, said Jason Fatal, from Global Head of FX at BNY Mellon. This is a milestone in solving long-standing challenges in emerging markets with broad application for the industry and our clients. This demonstrates our commitment to market-leading execution at a time when investor participation and focus on cost in these markets are increasing. The collaboration between the two organizations leverages our strengths and expertise in emerging markets. Custodial FX, and as well as digital workflow and innovation, said David Lin from APAC, is the Asian Pacific region head of fixed income currencies and corporate bank at Deutsche Bank. This here breaks down the two banks just to give you an idea about them. BNY Mellon had 35.2 trillion in asset under custody and or administration and 1.8 trillion in assets under management. BNY Mellon can act as a single point of contact for clients looking to create, trade, hold, manage, service, distribute, or restructure investments. Pretty remarkable stuff that's happening, and they're showing you again where are we starting, guys? In the smaller markets, right? In the smaller markets that aren't quite as liquid. Let's get there. Let's solve that problem, right? It not only does it solve the problem, gets the expediency to the market, right? The efficiency's there, the cost savings, you're scalable, you're more secure, right? All of those things come with this. And it becomes a litmus test. As they said, they do plan to expand into other markets here because they know it's going to work. So this is also becoming a litmus test for the larger, probably board members and executives and regulators, I'm sure, watching all of this take place, to say, listen, this is where we need to be moving. And eventually it will be the new system and how it gets done. All right, so I just wanted to go into that one because that's heavy there. FNZ and State Street collaborate on wealth management servicing venture. This is another one that's exciting. I'm not going to go down into this article, but, you know, State Street has, well, I guess it was last year, maybe even the end of 18. I can't remember now, but they applied for digital custody license. I can't remember if they've been approved on that yet or not, but nevertheless, State Street is in the digital asset game. Don't sleep on them. Very big situation going on there. All right. And if you guys haven't checked out the video I just dropped on the Digital Perspectives channel, please do. I'm telling you, it is straight fire to hear Donnelly Dixon and Jeremy Allairs discuss these things about standards and protocols for crypto, and they believe they're coming very soon. And they're talking about standards and protocols in two different contexts. One, they're talking about standards and protocols for how to operate in this space as far as a regulatory framework. And they were also specifically talking about protocols and standards, or protocols becoming standards for the virtual space, as in how you use them. And what we're talking about there is we're talking about protocols such as Stellar's protocol or XRP ledger protocol, which we know can be used in a universal ledger situation. So that's pretty remarkable stuff. So let's make sure we check out, stay up on all this news. What a difference a day makes. That's where we're at today. And, oh, I thought this was interesting too, and I'll do a different video on this, but there is a great trade reset conversation being discussed by the World Economic Forum. Shout out to CryptoLife for that one. That's a whole nother video. All right, guys, a lot to go over. Make sure you catch it all. Hit the like and subscribe. Share with somebody you know. I'll catch you on the next one.